Check this out. Well, that's weird. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's start with cleaning off this workbench. Throwing down this piece of melamine, and then we'll lay some clear packing tape where we can do the epoxy pour. That way the epoxy won't stick. Let's use some hot glue so we can get these boards down so we can do a first pour. I cut and taped off some corrugated plastic, so let's use that to seal off the open sides of the split slab. So we got our resin in the cup. Add a couple of drops of white alcohol ink, and we'll mix in some white mica powder. Alright, here we go, first pour. And now we'll just use a gloved hand and kind of push this around a little bit. Get a nice seal on the inside. Make sure we don't have any leaks. Add some flame. Just to get rid of any bubbles. So guys, we're gonna let this set up for a little bit. Then we're gonna add another little coat like we just added, about the same amount, just so we can make sure we have no leaks. So far it's looking pretty good. Got a nice white down. Starting to set up some of the little pine cones and acorns that we're going to be using. They're a bunch of mini guys, so they'll be set in like this. So let's lay these little guys out so we can see what they'll look like and how we're going to glue them up, just in case we need to fix the arrangement of them. Some of these acorns are going to need their little hats glued back on. So I'm thinking we'll stick with this layout, and now we'll just glue these down with a bit of hot glue. Ran into a little issue with some of the placement. I wanted to keep the ends so we can cut off some coasters. So I tried to gap them out and had to pull them up and put them back down. Got it all laid out. This is what it's looking like. Now all we have to do is add some more white. So I mixed up some more white resin. Now I know I can mix up a bunch more, but considering it's all going to be white on top of white, I'm going to do it in some layers. Let's let this set up, see what happens in a little bit. I grabbed some pine straw, considering we got oak and pine cones. So we could put some of these down in here, and we could bend them whichever way and just lay them down in there. Breaks it up a little bit. I think that looks good. So guys, I'm going to use some hot glue and I'm going to get these little pine straw pieces glued down. So now that we have the pine straw glued down, what I'm going to do is take some hodgepodge with a little brush. I'm going to put some of the hodgepodge clear drying glue on some of these pieces and put down some snow. So guys, I mixed up some clear resin. I add a little bit of micro pearl in here. It'll still be clear, but it'll give it a little shimmer. I want to keep that snow effect. This will be a thin coat, just in case any of the loose snow particles pop up. It'll be a nice thin layer. I vacuumed out all the loose snow already, so I'm just gonna drizzle this down and then pour whatever we got left up on top. So if the snow ends up going invisible, because it's kind of getting clear already, what I'll do is add a little bit of white paint on a dry brush, just so we can retexture that with a little bit of white. So now that everything's basically dry and I was able to build up some texture, taking some white paint on a dry brush, dabbing it out, just adding some white back to that texture. So I'll get you when I'm done dry brushing. So guys, I just got done dry brushing, and this is what we're looking like. So guys, let's let this dry, and then tomorrow we'll be able to add the final clear coat directly on top. So I don't have a wide enough planer to run this through. You can see I'm feathering out the high sides with an electric hand planer. This way I can keep everything nice and flat. It's always so messy. So I just got done planing all the sides. Since I'm going to be working with some low grit, let's put some blue tape over the epoxied area. Now we are ready to sand. Peel the tape and hit the whole board with some 320. So I'm going around and breaking the bead of hot glue right now, so we can get this board cracked up off the melamine. Well, I hope it didn't stick to the melamine. So we did get a little epoxy under the wood. Let's set up the router sled and get this cleaned up. Take this whole bottom down nice, but let's cut it to size first. Using the router sled with a flattening bit, I'll take everything down, give it a quick vacuum, a sand off camera to take out any of the router lines left behind, and I'll just follow up with an 1/8" round over. Now we just let this dry. Alright guys, it's the next day, and I added another top coat to the bottom of this charcuterie board. It's on the bottom, so we're just gonna let this dry. And this whole time I'm hearing something in the backyard, so let's go see what that is. So guys, I went through the house. Check out the new merch. Now let's take a look. Looks like 3 foxes going after a bobcat. So, check this out. There's another one. So that was pretty crazy. It's like never a dull moment, you know. Every day it's like something new, something like that, or the bears, or just the foxes themselves. Sometimes there's even deer that just come walking around. Well, anyway, it's the next day. Let's continue working on this charcuterie set. Get this thing finished up. Now that we got everything done on the bottom, I gave everything a quick sand, and now I'm gonna give the top the same round over I gave the bottom.
It's 5 a.m. Ain't nobody see the work that I'm putting in. Something deep inside a thirst. I can feel it in my skin. Look around me, it's a curse. Think I'm losing all my friends. An overnight success, what they'll call it in the end. I got this hunger inside of me.
So I'm going to mark out 2 3/4 of an inch, and then add an 1/8 for the kerf of the blade. Mark out another 2 3/4 inch, and another kerf blade, the 1/8 inch. After the cut, I'll be left with a 2 3/4 inch piece. And that'll be what we use as the coaster.
It's a fucking boys club at the top end. Like a bracket haze just to get in. I ain't doing that shit, I don't pretend. Yeah, I wanna be the best. Always had a drive that I had to beat the rest. Yeah, put me in the game when there's only seconds left. When the game's on the line, yeah, you see me at my best. I can feel it in my heart.
So a little change. The client didn't want to have any coasters with the charcuterie board. So I am shaping them a little different to make like a cheese spreader or a cheese knife. I think I'm gonna make both. I figure I'm gonna use this piece as the knife end. You're gonna cut it shorter, but where I was gonna round off the coasters, I cut the tops off. And what I'm gonna do is put these two together like this with some new epoxy, and I drilled a hole here, turn this end down on the lathe, and it'll fit in there like that. Then this piece, mixed up some 5-minute epoxy to hold this piece in, and then I'll just tape this off and do a 2-part resin pour. Everything will be locked in place. So I did the pour on the knife, and I didn't fill in the crack on the bottom with white so you can see it, but it's just from the bottom that you're seeing. When you look at it from the side, you can't see it. So when I turn it on the lathe, it's going to open it up. I'll just cut down and add some white. And I got some templates for little knife, a spreader, this fork thing, and I don't know what that is. Now jumping over to the bandsaw, I'll cut away the bulk of the templates so I can bring them over to the sander and get the final shape. So now I'm just going to use the Dremel, trim up any little bits that need to be sanded down, give the blades a little bit of an edge, and get these things ready to get finish put on them.
My neighbors compete to see who can put up more blinding lights. The kids all wish away the month 'cause they want presents in sight. This year had me so mad, I've been bad
Now I'm just gonna clean these guys off with some alcohol, and then I'm gonna just mix up some 2-part resin and just use my hands and give it a couple of coats.
When I was just a boy, Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Now
I'm just going through and giving everything a nice wet sand by hand. I went from 1,000 all the way to 7,000 grit. And then I'll take them over, put them on the buffing wheel, get everything polished up, and they'll be good to go. I think it came out looking good. Thank you guys for watching. Give a like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.